Let's quickly rip through one of the most important segments, the top week 4 defensive streaming teams. Let's make sure to get this right. We've hit a few out of the park so far this year. Starting at the top with the Cleveland Browns. They do have a bye in week 5, so not a great schedule either after that. Not someone you need to go blow a ton of money on to get with those scheduling circumstances. But you got to look at the fact that they lead the NFL, the Browns, in total defense, only 163.7 yards per game allowed, and only allowing 10.7 points per game through these 3 weeks. In 2 of their first 3 games, the Browns only held opponents to a lone field goal. 14 of the 26 points they gave up to the Pittsburgh Steelers, as mentioned earlier, came on defensive touchdowns after pick sixes given up by Deshaun Watson there. 9th in fantasy points through 3 games. They're 12th in. They're facing the Ravens here. 12th most points allowed as well. And they really just struggled against the not very strong unit of the Colts. I think the Browns are in a great spot to do good things against the Ravens. Potentially an even better matchup, though, and more available are the Tampa Bay Bucks. 29% rostered. They'll be on the road at New Orleans, but I think this is the best streamer of the week. They held, again, the Eagles. They gave up a good 472 yards there, but ultimately they held Jalen. Sorry, I'm getting a cough here. I'm a little sick. I apologize there, Wolfpack. But they did ultimately now much softer matchup with the Derek Carr-led Saints. 20th in total offense, 26th in scoring offense. They do not put touchdowns on the board, and now they might be even without Derek Carr. They've surrendered the 11th most points to the quarterback position. And remember, they did pick off an explosive Jalen Hurts team. Yeah, they gave up a lot of yards. They picked him off twice. They're now second in terms of team interceptions with 5, this Tampa Bay Bucks unit. They only held them. Yeah, they gave up a ton of yards, but only 23 points to the Eagles. That's really not too shabby. So Jameis Winston, we know this man. He's thrown 5 interceptions in games before. And yeah, he's been a lot more conservative since joining the Saints. But given that they had solid outings, 9-17, and then mediocre 5 points against the Eagles, I get that, but the Eagles is as tough as a matchup as you'll get. Their other 2 matchups, they thrived. They still have a ton of Super Bowl winning talent on this roster. Shaquille Barrett, Devin White, Levante David, Carlton Davis. There's still plenty of juice on this roster. I think they could be a great defensive unit here. And then the last one I wanted to shout out would be the Cincinnati Bengals facing the Tennessee Titans. This is a great spot. This defense gave up secured 6 sacks and 2 picks against that Rams team. And now they're getting a Titans team that's allowed the 2nd most sacks in the NFL so far. Their line is abysmal. The Tennessee Titans also 29th in scoring at 15 points per game. They've given up the 7th most points to fantasy opposing defenses, given again the sacks they give up, given that they don't score on offense. And now we got a Bengals team that thrives at getting to the passer. Bottom 10 right now, this Titans team in both rushing and passing. They don't even have Henry looking good at this point. Just gave up 3, giving up, again, 2nd most yardage to sacks as well. So getting in horrible field positions gives that maybe pick 6, fumble 6, safety type of upside here. So love the Bengals as a streaming option. And if none of those 3 are out there, look to the Houston Texans, 1% rostered against Pittsburgh. Not the best offense, in my opinion. And we've seen this Texans team put up 8 and 12 points, 12 being against the Jags, this explosive Jacksonville attack. They had 2 turnovers. They also scored a special teams touchdown there. This Texans team also had 4 sacks against Baltimore. They definitely can get to Pickett in a Siev line there. So 1% rostered. If you're desperate, the Texans can make an intriguing stream. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.